I want to change gears here for a minute. So you and I met in Russell Brunson's Inner Circle, right? And which has been a phenomenal experience. I wanted to ask what prompted you to initially join a community like that?
Oh, dude, you
I
haven't heard this
haven't.
story? Oh, man. So, I don't know if you can see it in my frame. You know, the Inner
Yeah, yeah,
Circle
yeah.
book? You can't see. Um, my journey was why that
Okay.
book was written. And so what happened was, there's a friend of mine,
Sure.
Josh Forty. Josh, if if you're not familiar with the world that Preston's talking about, it's a marketing world. There's a big annual event that's actually coming up a week from within us recording this, and it's called Funnel Hacking Live. And Josh Forty is, I jokingly refer to him as a mini celebrity in the world of Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels. And he was going again, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to go. Can I tag along? I've never been." And he was kind enough to let me just kind of jump
That's
around with
awesome.
him. And I met a handful of people. And the reason why I went is because I've never been in a rush to grow my business at the expense of my sanity. And over the years, I call it dating the phases. And so it's like in the beginning, when you're first an entrepreneur, you go, this was my evolution. In the beginning, it was, hey, it's cool just to be self-employed. And so I would date that phase where it's like, what can I learn from this? What do I like? What do I not like? And then when you date in like the real world, you take from the relationship and go, okay, how do I apply it in the next relationship so the next relationship is better? And so I basically did that to my evolution of my agency. And it was like, okay, what do I like about being a solopreneur? What do I not like? And then as I grow, okay, now I got team members. What can I learn from this? And I never accelerated the growth to burn it down. And over those years, as I mentioned earlier, I've never done any advertising. And so I got to a point where it's like, okay, there's nothing really in the way anymore. I don't have any insecurities about growing at a rapid scale. So let's accelerate that learning curve and come back around to something like Funnel Hacking Live. So let's go to a place where people are already doing the things that I'm trying to dip my toes in. So I'm walking around with Josh, and then he, I went everywhere he could go except past this invisible early access line. And early access, all it does is it allows you to get in 10 minutes earlier and pick a seat sooner and maybe get a bagel.
Yeah.
Like that's it, right? And I was so pissed off that I'm like, he's right there. I can see him. And so I went up to the person at the little sash and I said, hey, I don't want anything for free. Like, can I pay to get over there? And in my mind, I'm like, I will pay $1,000 for a blue bracelet instead of a red one. And so they're like, oh, I think so. Go talk to customer service. And I go talk to customer service and they're like, no, you can't go back there. Like, that's just for people that have won an award or in our coaching programs. Oh, okay. What's the coaching program? I don't know. I didn't expect anybody to ask. Hey, call Robbie. I don't know who Robbie was. And so the audience won't know who Robbie is either. He's the sales guy for this community. Super hypey, super loud, super likable. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And it's like almost 10 minutes goes by and I'm ready to walk. And then all of a sudden Robbie comes in and he taps me on it. He's like, what's up? And I tell him the story. I'm like, my friend's over there and I just want to go over there and I don't want anything for free. And he goes, yeah, you're not going over there. I was like, okay. And then he says, it's either for award winners, coaching members. So he says the same thing. And he says, are you interested in coaching? I said, honestly, no. And he goes, what about a mastermind? And I said, maybe. And he goes, all right, here's the deal. You got to make at least $1 million a year. It's $50,000, blah, blah, blah. So in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I just went from $1,000 to $50,000. But my decision was surprisingly short. I would say less than 20 seconds. Because what I started thinking in my head was, well, this is why I'm here, right? Is to accelerate the learning curve. This is what I'm looking for, some sort of opportunity. So I chatted with him a little bit more. And Robbie being Robbie's like, I don't need your money now. Like, you don't have to do this, but we got a lunch. I'll save you a spot. We got this lunch in like 90 minutes if you want to go. And so I was like, I'm in, whatever, I'm in. So I committed, went to the lunch. so now when you see like Justin Benton affectionately refers to it as the $50,000 bracelet.
That's so funny.
And so went back to my wife and kids I bring to these events. I went back to the hotel room wearing a new hoodie that said Inner Circle. I'm like, babe, guess how much this hoodie costs?
Yeah, Mick B and I always joke about that whenever we pull it out. We go, oh, there's the most expensive piece of clothing we have.
Yeah,
that's great, man. What do you feel are some of your main, like the biggest takeaways you've gotten from being a part of that community? With the Inner Circle.
Two things probably come to mind. One is, you don't know what you don't know. I have been fortunate enough to not necessarily be insecure about like a lot of times we fight against like what our potential is, and you can call it imposter syndrome or whatever. I have my moments, but generally speaking, I wasn't reserved about that. But you get into a group like this and like you just don't know what you don't know, and you see these people having like $1 million days, and you're like, damn, like I need to change my goals here, and they make it look so seamless, and so it's really changed my perspective on how big I think. And then the other thing is I've implemented surprisingly little tactical stuff because of what I said earlier. I don't want to grow things at the expense of my sanity. So it's not that I don't have them road mapped out and in queue, but they've kind of been deferred for the main reason, which is probably the biggest takeaway I've had is just get out of my own way faster. And so I had been looking for a COO. I had coincidentally found him like a month before Funnel Hacking Live. And so bringing him on while also being exposed to this kind of stuff accelerated that, like getting out of my own way, which is then not lessen my time. It's just giving me the freedom to redirect it.